Welcome to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. As you know, we've got a new guest for you every week, somebody we think is pretty important in the community. And this week we have got the St. Clairs, right? The new owners of Summerset Boat Lift. And so it is Pack St. Clair and Paxson St. Clair. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Good to have you
here.
here.
Great to be here.
So the new owners of Summerset Boat Lift here. So tell us, how did that come about? You guys come in and take over a pretty successful business, and I'm guessing hoping to take that to new heights.
Yeah. So it's been, we say new, but it's been almost a year now since we've been involved with Summerset. And Dave Brooks, who owned and founded the company, many years ago.
Back in the 70s, I think.
Yeah. Has retired. Some of his family's still on board with us, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But we're enjoying it. Great to be on the lake and involved with this business.
Yes. So now we say, new owners and all that stuff, but being in the marine industry is not new for you guys, right? I mean, you've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
If people have heard of Cobalt Boats, that was your family, right?
Correct. My dad started the business back in '68. When I was his age, a long time ago. I started full-time with Cobalt and worked there up and through 2000. We sold the business in late 17, and I stayed on as president of the company for a couple of years, and just wasn't a fit. Big corporate lifestyle, public companies just wasn't for me, and
right.
and I moved on, and spent 30 years there and had a lot of fun in the boat business.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I read something from you, Pac, that you wanted to kind of do what your dad was able to do with his dad, kind of do business together, do it, have that family feel to it. And so this is like the perfect way to do that.
Yep, exactly. And I think it's a similar feeling he had with the corporate situation, right out of college. I went into a 3PL, big freight company, very corporate environment, and was just yearning to get back into something with my family like I always grew up around, and never really worked there except for some summers, but always grew up around it, knew what it was about. And that's really what led us down here. We were looking for a good company in the marine industry and found one in Summerset.
Right. And you guys are big Jayhawk fans, right? Because you're from Kansas.
Right?
Yeah,
that's right. There you go.
We don't say that very loud around here.
There are plenty of Kansas people around here. So how do you start, or how does your family start Cobalt Boats in a little town in Kansas? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's, believe it or not, that's not the first time I've had that question thrown out. So, I remember over the years we would work a boat show in Chesapeake or wherever on the East Coast, and somebody would say, a good looking boat, where's this made? And I say, well, it's made in Kansas. And they chuckle and go, no, really?
Exactly. Yeah.
So really there were two boat companies back in the 70s and 80s. IMP was one that was made in Iola, Kansas, Iola Molded Plastics, and Cobalt. And it's basically where we're from, but in reality, it was really kind of our secret sauce, in that the work ethic, the pride people took in the quality. We were blessed with an incredible bunch of people. Neodesha is a town of 2,500 people.
I was going to ask. I've never even heard of Neodesha.
A lot of people in Kansas have never heard of Neodesha, but I mean, super small town. And we had generations of people working with us at the boat plant. But to have an employment base of 800 people in a town of 2,500 people, it's pretty tough to maintain those levels of employment. But we had a lot of fun years. We'd build between 8 and 10 boats a day, and it's something that I think about daily and I really do miss.
Oh, I bet there's some great memories there, right? Was it your dad that started Cobalt Boats?
He started the business back in '68.
What was there's not many guys out there that go, I want to start making boats.
Well,
right?
Beyond that, Pac's heard this story a bunch, but my dad went to KU, was a football player, and and thought that he wanted to be a football coach. And he grew up on Grand Lake in Oklahoma with his family.
Yeah.
And was an avid boater. And he got his first job, and the light bulb went off that the salary of a football coach early in his career and boating didn't line up very well.
Right.
And so my grandfather was in the lumber business, and my dad eventually got into that business with him. He was a lumber wholesaler. But Dad had, I'll make this story short, Dad had a good friend. They were looking at some big fiberglass slides that you'll see at the state fair.
Sure,
You set on a burlap bag and you slide down this slide, and they charge you $0.25 every time you go down.
Oh, its price has gone up.
Well, probably so. So they started doing the math and watching these kids go down. They said, I wonder if we could make those. So they got in the slide business.
Yeah.
Soon thereafter, kids were putting wax paper under the burlap, and they'd hit that third little bump at a high rate of speed, go airborne, and breaking collarbones and who knows what else. And the insurance company said, we're done. I mean, said we're done before we really got started.
Right.
And so with that, my dad said, hey, I love boats. We have this fiberglass equipment. Let's start building boats.
Wow.
And so he wasn't an engineer. He wasn't a business graduate. He was an education major that had a lot of real just desire to do something different and build the best. And
Yeah.
here we are.
How
50
about
years
that?
later.
Isn't it amazing how it's something like that, something as innocuous as that turns into a whole industry, and what has really formed your family for the last few decades. It's stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting to know more about Summerset Boat Lifts and Duratek and the owners behind that. It's Paxson and Pack St. Clair, so we'll have more with the St. Clairs right after this. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center is growing in our community with a new dental location to serve you in Eldon and a new location in Laurie opening in spring of 2022. COMC also makes your children a priority with a mobile dental unit serving schools in rural areas where access can be a challenge. COMC also offers OBGYN, sports medicine, pediatric, and behavioral health care. Get more info at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the polar plunge to festivals, parades, aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootout. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV.
Join Lake TV for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris, the Lake area's only local TV talk show focused on the Lake area. Local stories, local sports, and local events. Have a cup of coffee with Will and Chris weekdays at 8, 1, and 8 on Lake TV.
Welcome back to Lake TV's Community Spotlight Show, brought to you by COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. We've got the owners of Summerset Boat Lifts, the St. Clairs here. It's Pack and Paxson. We've got a whole lot of names going here. We've got Summerset, Duratek, Galvahoist is in there. So what is what?
Well, when we purchased the business a year ago this time, our head was spinning as well. Our local dealership is Summerset Boat Lifts, and Summerset is only here on Lake of the Ozarks, and that's our dealership that now sells Duratek boat lifts. And we did a rebranding early in our ownership of the business here. Originally, it was Galvahoist, and as we did some consumer research and talked to customers out there, the Galva lift or Galvahoist brand was too closely tied to the old metal tanks.
Galvanized
steel tanks.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And today, those are undesirable. We now know that those just won't last. And we haven't used those steel tanks for years. We use the poly tanks, obviously. And so we said, going forward, we need to talk about a rebranding. 95% or so of our sales in the 90s our lifts are sold here on Lake of the Ozarks, but there's a lot of states out there, Texas, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, that are big states for this type of floating lift.
Right.
And so as we look to go beyond just Lake of the Ozarks, we thought maybe that rebranding would be a good timing for that because of the Galva
Right.
situation.
And Duratek's a good name. I mean, it says a lot just in that little thing.
Yeah,
there,
that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So now, Pac, this has been a pretty good start for you. Again, as I was doing a little research, I came across this news story. You were awarded the Young Leader of the Year at the National Dock Expo Show. That's pretty cool right out of the gate to win a big honor like that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Very honored to win it. It was definitely a surprise right out of the gate, like you said.
Yeah.
Got reached out, said, I know they handed it out to a number of guys and was lucky enough to be one of the winners. It was over in Nashville. Pretty cool experience to just jump right into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw the picture of you too. And I tell you,
Makes a dad proud.
I don't think I've seen a bigger smile on Dad's face. It was pretty cool. So for the family, you owned Cobalt Boats, you sold that. You go from boats to lifts, still in the marine. Is it a big difference? Is it an easy transition? How has that been going from boats to boat lifts?
Well, it's a big enough change that it got me beyond my non-compete, so I can't build boats.
Well, there you go.
But I love the marine business and the boating business. But it was a good opportunity to do something with PAC. I enjoyed 30 years of working with my father at Cobalt, and I just thought, boy, and I have two other sons that one's still in college and one is selling real estate, but the opportunity to do something with PAC and start in a small business was one that he and I both were dreaming about, and I had been involved in my prior life. I was on the board of Hydro Hoist boat lifts for 5 or 6 years with a friend in Oklahoma that ran that business, and so I had kind of the insight, the inner workings of the lift business. Kind of liked it. Thought that there's an opportunity to grow, find the right product, and grow it nationally. And so as we started our research, we narrowed it down to 3 or 4 different boat lift companies, and Dave and I got together, and it just was a good fit. He was ready to spend more time in Florida, and we were looking for something to do, and we both thought this was a great opportunity.
Definitely a good fit.
Worked out well.
Lake of the Ozarks is special too. There's what is it that makes this lake? Because it keeps getting named like best recreation lake in the nation and stuff like that. What is it that makes this such a special area?
It really is unbelievable.
Yeah.
We tell people about the lake, and they just don't believe it.
Yeah,
But,
got to go experience it.
It is special, and it's the largest market in the world for our style of product, and it's one of the largest markets, top 3 or 4 for boats, and you can name many boat brands that have had their largest dealer on this lake, Cobalt included.
Absolutely.
And so it's a treat. It's a unique, special place that we really enjoy.
So we're getting low on time, but is the technology in boat lifts changing? I mean, is that something that the tanks themselves are changing? They've changed, but frames and all that, is there new technology for that?
Yeah, we've been working on a number of things as of right now. It's the traditional Galva hoist, now known as Duratek product, but with that name, durability and technology, we do want to bring more technology into boat lifts, right? Yeah. So we're working on a number of things that we hope are really going to improve things for boaters.
Absolutely.
Really, a boat lift's not supposed to be there to be cool or anything. It's supposed to be there to get the job done. But with that being said, why not put some cool things on it as well?
Absolutely, like remotes and stuff
exactly.
that. There's some cool stuff. All right, so we're down to our final few seconds. But if folks want to get more information, where can they find it?
Yeah, SummersetBoatLifts.com is going to be the place to go. We're over on Old 5, just by a number of other boat lift companies. We've consolidated down to that location, so please stop by there. But all our information's on SummersetBoatLifts.com.
Okay, it's PAC in St. Clair. Thank you guys for coming by. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate it.